And we're back with our politics lead and more on Speaker McCarthy launching this impeachment inquiry into President Joe Biden. Here to give Democratic reaction is Democratic Congressman Jared Moskowitz of Florida. So, Congressman, thanks so much for being here. Speaker McCarthy is defending not bringing this to the floor for a vote, even though he said he would do that about 12 days ago. He said he would, by noting that Nancy Pelosi changed the rules in 2019 when she launched the impeachment inquiry into then President Trump without a floor vote, though she did bring it to the floor 5 weeks later. You weren't in Congress at the time, but he has a point, kind of, right?
Well, except he took the opposite position, right? He said that she needs to bring it to a vote, which he eventually did. Yeah. He also said this go around that if they do an impeachment inquiry, he will bring it to a vote. But you and I both know why he's not bringing it to a vote. It's not because he's had some policy change, because he doesn't have the votes. Right? He's got enough members who would vote against it.
There are about 19 or 20, I think it's 19 actually, Republicans who represent districts that Biden won. And they don't want to, I mean, they're worried that there isn't enough evidence to justify this. You talk to them, right? I mean, what do they tell you?
Well, it's unpopular at home, right? Listen, if the polling showed that the American people want Joe Biden to be impeached, that would have already happened. They would have already called the vote and impeached them 6 weeks ago, 3 months ago. That's what they're trying to do with all these 9 months of hearings, by the way. By the way, we've been having the impeachment inquiry for the last 9 months. It hasn't worked, so they're rebranding it. They're hitting the video game reset on what they've been doing in oversight and judiciary. But no, the polling shows that that folks don't want it back home.
Well, they don't want him impeached necessarily, but there is a new CNN poll that shows, if we could put that up, 61% of the American people think that Biden had at least some involvement in Hunter Biden's business dealings while he served as vice president. So doesn't this suggest, that polling number, that these allegations are connecting? That's the American people, that's the electorate as a whole, not just Republicans. And then the perception of wrongdoing could hurt Joe Biden.
Well, look, they've spent 9 months with the woulda, coulda, shoulda, but there's no evidence. And that's why the polling on impeachment is different. Right? We know that, he was on a phone one time or he had dinner one time. And what Republicans have done is said, see, there's the evidence. He was in the room, he was at dinner, or he was on the phone, he spoke to his son. But there has been no evidence at all, zero. And if there were, they would be calling for a vote on impeachment. This is not like they want to give Joe Biden the benefit of the doubt, right? This is all about trying to appease Donald Trump. If they had the evidence, they would have tried to appease Donald Trump 3, 4, 5, 6 months ago.
So let me posit that, for the sake of argument, that you are correct in what you're saying. Does Joe Biden not bear any responsibility for the fact that his brothers and his son have been making millions of dollars, profiting off their relationship to him, being lobbyists and advisors and this and that, because of him? I mean, is that not... I understand people in this town do that and their relatives do it, but he's been letting them do it.
Yeah, listen, if there was something that was unethical, obviously, that borders on illegal, then it needs to be prosecuted, right? On the Hunter Biden stuff, right? That needs to be prosecuted. If he's broken the law, he needs to be held account. Democrats have said that on Donald Trump, who, has 50% of the president's impeachments in this country, 100% of its indictments. If Hunter Biden has done something wrong, he should be indicted. As far as the culture in Washington, the revolving door in Congress, the revolving door in the Pentagon, being able to make money off family members, listen, that may be something that Democrats and Republicans should address on a bipartisan basis.
Well, that's the thing.
But we can't just say, oh, Joe Biden's family did it, but they don't want to ask any questions about Jared Kushner getting $2 billion from the Saudis, who they blame for 9/11.
Right. But that's the whole thing. The people always say about in Washington, the real crime, quote unquote crime, is not what's illegal, but what's legal, right? It's perfectly legal to be the son of a very powerful person and traffic in that connection.
Listen, I'll vote for term limits. I'll vote to close the revolving door. The Republicans won't even bring those bills to the floor, but yet they want to go after Joe Biden for stuff that's been going on in Washington, D.C. for half a century.
Right. But that's my point. Could he not have done something? I understand that it's legal.
Sure. So listen, in the event that we eventually conclude that, hey, it's unsavory what he did.
Unseemly.
Right. It doesn't mean that it rises to the level of high crimes and misdemeanors and deserves impeachment. This is not about the facts. This is about Donald Trump, who has beamed this down from Truth Social, who's meeting with members every day, right, in the House. He's telling them, you must impeach Joe Biden so I can also run against someone who's impeached. Donald Trump doesn't want to be the only one that's been impeached in the next election.
When you talk to your Florida colleague, Matt Gaetz, what does that conversation go like?
Well, look, Matt is on a mission, right? He's interested in just napalming the whole deal. And for Matt, quite frankly, his strategy is a win-win, right? He calls for a vote on the vacancy. He won't get the votes, of course, but Democrats probably don't throw the House into chaos. They probably don't team up with the Freedom Caucus. So then he says Kevin McCarthy is now the Speaker of the Democrats, and right, it's a slow bleed for the Speaker. So that's the box that Matt is willing to put his leadership in.
Yeah. I feel like we should be talking about some policies and issues that might actually benefit the American
Why most of us ran for office.
might benefit the American people. Democratic Congressman Jared Moskowitz of Florida. Good to see you. Thanks so much. We're standing by.